Welcome to another Blackwood Adventure. This is day 4 of DRs Orders 2025. Today's ride features a number of highlights from the highlands of the Allegheny Mountains. From our start in Canaan Valley, we passed through Back Hollow Road, Gladwin, Sully, Alpena, Glady, Durbin, Back Mountain Road, Snowshoe, Cass, Greenbank, Boyer, Camp Allegheny, Thornwood, Weimer, Harmon, Dry Fork, and then back into Canaan Valley. At select locations in the video, you will see what 3 words coordinates for that location. South out of Canaan Valley, we turned right onto Back Hollow Road, which is on the edge of Canaan Valley State Park.
Lighten up, take me on your magic river. Tell me all your dreams align. Sign me up and tell me about the people that you know who are trying to feel alive.
A brilliant sunrise starts to melt the frost in the fields, but as we drop further out of the valley, the temperatures drop to the low 20s.
Just come share my pillow and rain, rain, go away. I wanna hear about everything you're ever thinking. You know that I can take the truth. Call me out if you think I'm never slipping. Maybe I can turn it around. Oh yeah. Time is on our side. Things are gonna haunt us, we'll just have to put aside. And I'm right here if you just need to cry. Come love, share my pillow and rain, rain, go away. Since you fixed me, I'll never forget your time.
Tight hairpin turns with switchbacks are a commonplace in this part of West Virginia.
Rain, rain, go
One of our first stops of the day for a photo was at the dry fork of the Cheat River at Jennington. After crossing the dry fork of the Cheat River, we start to gain elevation and pass through Sully and then Alpena.
street last night, said everything's alright. Roller coaster, make it through the day upright. It seems your meal ticket is gone, but life goes on. I could never imagine.
It was welcome to get out of the cold valleys and back into the sunshine as we gained elevation. We had another brief stop at the Alpina Motel to try to warm our fingers a bit.
Let's go!
Leaving Alpina, we continued southwest on County Road 27 towards Glady.
It's time to all choose your timeline on the roller coaster of life. Oh, you seem to easily forget how to place your bet. When everyday life gets you down, you gotta steal the crown. Got to own it. Don't bitch and moan about it, please. God forbid you scrape your knees, and it's nothing to sneeze at. Oh, I've told you over and over again. You gotta get both hands around it and make your own plans. Roller coaster, it's taking over. It's about time. To all choose your timeline.
The roads through the Monongahela National Forest are very well maintained gravel with very few potholes.
I want to go down the rabbit hole, down the rabbit hole of life.
Continuing on Glady Durbin Road, we made a brief stop at the settlement of Burner, which is right along the Little River. We'll continue from here towards Durbin. Mountain Railroad town of Durbin, we continued along Back Mountain Road towards Cass and then towards Snowshoe. Snowshoe, West Virginia is known for its downhill skiing. They also do some motorsports events on the road leading up to the top of the mountain. This hill climb is really impressive, with an elevation topping out about 4,800 feet. This trip was in late October, and so it was kind of a transition season. Snowshoe was very quiet this time of year, but we were able to find one place to stop and get a sandwich. Some of the local wildlife wanted a bite. After lunch, we headed back off the mountain and down towards the logging town of Cass, West Virginia. The town of Cass, West Virginia is now the Cass Scenic Railroad State Park. Many of the old company houses are now owned by the state, and you can rent them for the weekend. From the depot at Cass, you can take a steam train to Whitaker Station or Bald Knob. From Cass, we headed back towards Greenbank, West Virginia, home of the Greenbank Telescope. Matt and I both have lots of memories here at the observatory, where we both worked in the late 1980s. Off in the distance, you can see the Greenbank Telescope, the world's largest fully steerable radio telescope, with a diameter of about 100 meters. Leaving the observatory, we turned north on Route 28, heading to Greenbank Road and the top of Allegheny Mountain. along Green Bank Road, which is the old historic Staunton-Parkersburg Turnpike, you arrive at Camp Allegheny, one of the Civil War era encampments here that are in the mountains of West Virginia. Leaving Camp Allegheny, we returned to Tarmac and US 250 near the West Virginia state line. Then we turned into Camp Thornwood, a civilian conservation corps camp built in the 1930s, and a longtime home of the National Youth Science Camp, a program that I directed for 12 summers. I've lived more than a year of my life here at this camp. I spent many hours in the camp office. Middle Mountain Road leaves camp and heads up the mountain to the north. Nearing our base in Canaan Valley, we made a quick trip out Camp 70 Road in Davis, West Virginia, to the National Wildlife Refuge, and then returned along Route West Virginia 32 to Timberline.